Hey, it's Dr. John Terry, the Black Belt Leader, and welcome to this Words of Wisdom Wednesday with leadership insights from the Bible. I want to pick up where I left off last week in Genesis 1, and I want to jump and fast forward to Genesis chapter 3. Now, the serpent was more crafty than any of the wild animals the Lord God had made. He said to the woman, "Did God really say you must not eat from any tree in the garden?" Then the woman said to the serpent, "We may eat fruit from the trees in the garden, but God did say, you must not eat fruit from the tree in the middle of the garden, and you must not touch it, or you will die." "You will not certainly die," the serpent said to the woman, "for God knows that when you eat it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil." When the woman saw that the fruit of the tree was good for food and pleasing to the eye, and also desirable for gaining wisdom, she took some and ate it. She also gave some to her husband who was with her, and he ate it. So, what are the leadership insights that we can take, building upon what we looked at in the prior lesson, and add to that today? Leadership insight number one. Going back to Genesis chapter 1, verse 28, God put Adam and Eve in charge of his creation. He created Adam and Eve, male and female, man and woman, to lead and be rulers in the earth. They were called and created to be leaders. Leadership insight number two. God, as the ultimate leader that Adam and Eve were to follow. Remember, leaders are also followers. They were given clear instructions. This is permissible. This is prohibited. This you can do. This you can't do. Do this, but don't do this. The instructions they were given were very clear, and it was their responsibility as leaders to lead themselves well and make good choices. That leads us to point number three. Adam and Eve allowed themselves to be negatively influenced. They allowed the serpent, a third party that had his own agenda, to manipulate them and use the instructions they had given and twist them in such a way to get them to question whether or not the instructions they had been given were actually serving them well. Which leads us to insight number four. Adam and Eve failed to lead themselves. They were given very clear instructions that they could eat of any tree in the garden except one, and they were to avoid that tree for a very specific reason. And because Adam and Eve allowed themselves to be negatively influenced and manipulated, they made a choice that didn't serve them well. Practical application is this: every action is a decision, and every decision is a choice, and every choice has a consequence. When the rules for you as a leader are clearly defined, it is your responsibility to follow those rules. Other individuals may come into your life that have an ulterior motive or want to manipulate you to their own ends. You have to be careful and learn the lesson where Adam and Eve failed to lead themselves well, so that you don't allow yourselves to be negatively influenced by individuals who may have an ulterior motive that doesn't serve you well. Remember, as a leader, your first responsibility is to lead yourself well and make good choices, and to protect those that are a part of your team and help them to also make good choices. We see this failure in Genesis 3, verses 1 through 6, where Eve was manipulated. Eve was influenced. Adam said nothing and did not come to her defense and speak up to say, "This is what we were told. These are the clear instructions." He chose, along with her, to violate the instructions they had been given and suffered the consequences that followed. Hey, if you enjoyed this leadership lesson from the Bible, let me encourage you to follow me on YouTube, my channel at Be a Black Belt Leader. If you're a fan of Rumble, you can find the same information there. Be a Black Belt Leader is my channel there. You can also visit my website, beablackbeltleader.com, and under the courses section, you'll find a free email series, the top 10 leadership lessons from the Bible. That is a 10-week email series, once a week, delivered into your inbox to give you an opportunity to learn some important leadership lessons from the Bible. And if you want more leadership content or want to find other social media channels I'm on, be sure and visit my website, beablackbeltleader.com. I'm Dr. John Terry, the Black Belt Leader. Thanks for joining me. Have a great day.